Welcome to my channel. In the previous video, we see about tuple data structure. In this video, we will see about set data structure. So, as usual, the video start with a quote. Quote teaches you how to face really big problems. Said by Jack Dorsey. He's a co-founder of Twitter and Squares. What he was saying is, if you face any problem in real life, you have to think logically. If you think logically, you can able to solve those problems and get over it. Okay, let's see what is the definition of a set. Set is a collection which are unordered and unindexed, which means there is no order and there is no index. There is no duplicate items, and the set is denoted by curly braces or flower brackets. So how to declare a set? In normal way, if you are declaring like a list, means it will not consider as a set like this. Usually we will declare a list by square bracket, right? If we declare a set by declaring a curly braces, it will be considered as a dictionary, not set. So if you want to create an empty set, you have to give the set constructor or set function so that you can able to create an empty set. So then how to initialize a set? While initializing, we have to give curly braces so that the Python will consider that as a set. Right? Let me run this. So here I am giving apple twice, right? So the set will consider as a single item because the set cannot allow duplicate values. So the apple appear one time. So let's see how to initialize the set with various different data types like string, integer, boolean, and complex or can I say random data types, multiple data types. So let's see. So the set can contain any type of data types. Right? So let's see how to find the length of a set simply by giving a length function. You can able to find the length of a set. So the length of the set means my set. This is the my set. So the total number of elements present here is 3. So the result is 3. So then if you want to create a set with the help of set function or a set constructor, you have to give double brackets. This is similar to tuple. So this same thing will be repeating again and again. Okay. So if we give the double brackets, it will be considered as a set. Then how to access an element? So as I said before, there is no index to or a key to access the element present in the set. So we can able to iterate with the help of for loop. We can able to see the elements right like this, or you will see about loops in a later session. So one thing is loop. The next one is can able to find with the help of in function, right? Whether the given value is present in the set or not. It will print true or false. So banana is present inside the set, so the result is true. The next one is how to add item to a set. We have already a set, we have to add another item, so we have to use the add method or add function so that you can able to add a value or item to a predefined set. Then if you want to add a set to a set, means then you can use update method. If you're adding a single element, you can use add method. If you're adding multiple elements or a set, you can use update method. The update method will accept any types of iterable, which means you can able to give the list or a tuple or a dictionary or a set. Any type of data can be given inside the update function. Next one is how to remove the item from a set. If you are, there is two methods available. First one is remove method. So if you are removing one item, then if the same command is repeated again means initially the value 3 will be removed in this step. So let me write value 3 removed. Again I'm calling the same function. So now what will happen? The question. You run this. See, here's the error. So there is no key, right? We are searching for 3. Already 3 is removed. So you cannot able to remove the removed element. So this will be an error. Comment this. Okay. So the remove method will raise an error when there is no specified items available in the set. It is natural, right? Then another method called discard. Okay, this is weird because once we can able to remove a element called 3, then if we calling the same method again, it will show the same result. So there is no error raised. Discard method will not raise error when there is no specified element available in the set. So there is a difference between remove and a discard. Remove method will raise an error when there is no specified value present in the set. Discard method will not raise an error. So this is the difference between two methods, remove and discard. The next one is how to remove the lost element or a element from the set. You can use pop method, right? I'm here having a set of various strings. Okay, so I'm popping one element and storing in X. So let me run this. So the removed element is D. So there is no order in the set, so the random element will be removed. Right. The next one is how to remove all the entries from the set. We can able to use with the help of clear function. So it will clear the set. The set list before that is not list, place is set. There may be a confusion with my tongue. Okay. How to delete an entire set? You can able to delete an entire set with the help of del function, del keyboard. Okay. Del keyboard is short for delete. If I run this will show an error because I'm declaring a set, then I'm deleted the set, then I'm calling the set again. So there is no set available to print. So the name set3 is not defined. So if you delete the set, you cannot able to access it again. So this is how you can able to delete an entire set. If you want to combine or join two or more sets, then you can have two methods. Number one is union method. This will return a new set with all items present in both the sets. The next method is update method. As we seen before, the update method can have the data type like a list or tuple or a dictionary and set. Whichever the data type, we can able to pass it to the update method. Let's see the union method. Here I'm declaring a two set 1 of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, set 2 of ABC. So I'm here using a union function. This will combine both the sets, set 1 and set 2, and store it in set 3. Let me run this. So the result is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. This is how the union function works. The next one is interaction update function. This function will keep the items present in both the sets. It will check both the sets, whether the item repeated in two sets, then the items will be stored there. In this example, 2, 4, 5 are repeated in both sets. So the result will be 2, 4, 5. So the result is 2, 4, 5. This will keep the item that exist in both the sets. Right? This is interaction, means intersection update. The next one is intersection function. This will return a set of items that exist both in set 1 and set 2. The previous one will keep the items in the set 1 itself. In this time, the intersection function will return a new set, right? Set 3. So the result will be manipulated separately without affecting the original data. This method can be used. The same result will be produced here. The next one is to keep only the item present in both sets without duplicates. Right? There is another method called symmetric difference update. This method will keep the items present in both the set. This method will the items which are not present in both the sets. Right? In this case, we run this. So the previous one will return the 2, 4, 5. This will combine the both the set and print the non-repeated values. So 1, 3 and 6, 7. This is symmetric difference update. So basically we are finding the difference between the two sets. So this is symmetric difference update method. The next one is symmetric difference. This will provide this will return a set with the item that does not exist in both the sets. The same result will be produced. Right? The 1, 3 and 6. Now let's see the various methods. We see add method earlier, clear method also. We'll see, we have seen the discard method, intersection method, intersection update method. You have seen pop method, remove method, symmetric difference, symmetric difference update method, union update. We haven't seen the is disjoint method, is subset, is superset, and I think that's it. We will see those methods. This disjoint method means it will return a true if no items in set 1 present in the set 2. Right? Let me run this. So the items is not repeated with both the sets. So the result is true. If the one item repeated with the other set means then the result is false. So it will check whether the item present in the one set is presented in the other set or not. Just a condition of true or false. Next one is subset. Whether the set is a subset of that set. It will return whether the another set contains the set or not. Okay. Let's see, the set A is ABC, set B is these values. We will see A is a subset of B, or B is a subset of A. Let's run here. We see ABC values are present in B also. So A is a subset of B. The next one is the opposite one. This will be the false value. Right? Because there is no A present in the B. So A cannot be the subset of B. So the result is false. The next one is superset or is upper set. maybe I made a mistake. Set. This will return true if all items in set 1 are present in set 2, which is basically the opposite of previous one. So the ABC is contained inside the set 1. So the set 1 is a superset of set 2. So the result is true. Next one is the opposite one because there is no A value present here. So the X cannot be the superset of Y. Next one is a different method. Difference will find the difference between two sets. Here we have Apple, banana and cherry. The set 2 is Google, Microsoft and Apple. So the apple is common in both sets, right? So the difference is banana and cherry. Right? It will consider return a set that containing the items that only exist in set 1 and not in set 2. So the set 1 value are printed here, like banana and cherry. So this is one method. Another one is difference update. This will remove the items that exist in both sets, right? The previous one will return a set. This one will remove the set. Here in this, the result will be the same, but the additional values like apple got removed, right? So that's the main advantage here. Like having a set 1, you can able to access the previous original data, right? In this method you cannot, if your same thing printing the banana and cherry, the original value got affected, so this cannot be used in development also. But there may be any purpose, right? Every method has its own purpose, the programming. So most of the examples are taken from w3schools.com. You can able to go and see various methods and examples there. I think it's enough for this video. The next video we will see about another data structure, dictionary. Okay, thank you.